Hey, so I'm Eloise Ansell, and it's my amazing pleasure this evening to talk to two beautiful ladies about the Body Intuitive course. So, do you two want to introduce yourselves because you'll do a better job than I will?
Okay, thanks, Eloise. So, yes, we're very excited to be coming to Europe in January to teach Body Intuitive. I was actually just there for 3 weeks, so it was a great experience. And so, yeah, so I'm Janet Galipo. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine. I've been in practice for almost 30 years. And that means acupuncture, homeopathy, Chinese herbs, nutrition. I run a general holistic health clinic in Miami. And about 20 years ago, I learned the Body Talk system, and of course, it changed my life. And that was part of the motivation.
Hi. So I'm Dr. Laura Stuve, and I am a PhD scientist by training. So I have a PhD in biochemistry with a focus on human genetics and epigenetics. I spent 26 years doing basic research in that field. Always with an interest to alternative medicine and really understanding the whole picture of what creates states of health versus disease, which led me about 15 years ago to discover the Body Talk system. And since that time, I have been a practitioner and an instructor. So I'm a senior instructor, and Janet and I are both international instructors in the system. We travel all around and teach these amazing courses in Body Talk, Mind, Body Medicine. The other thing that I want to add is that Janet and I have been collaborators for a while. In 2009, we did the first formal research study for Body Talk, working with Body Talk for chronic pain. And that study is now published in the Journal of Pain Management.
Wow, is it 2009? That's our 10-year anniversary.
It is, yes.
That's so cool.
Wonderful. Oh, you two have such a wealth of information and knowledge and experience. So how did it come about that you decided to put this course together?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and I think the initial focus was to provide something in between Body Talk Access and Fundamentals in terms of length of the course and maybe some course content, but from there it grew. And yeah, we felt that, the Body Talk system was developed about 25 years ago. So we felt that it would be great to have a kind of update and upgrade of the system with more current science, which of course Laura supplies, and then to be able to offer it to medical professionals. So that was really the idea behind the development of the class.
So it really is a mix of East and West and both of your knowledge bases.
Yes, we like to think so.
Yes. If we describe it, we have downloaded our brains onto the charts that you get in the course. So essentially, when you work with Body Intuitive, you have us in your clinic with you. The purpose really was to enable healthcare practitioners to work at the depth that we do, me in the West body, working with the latest science of how the mind and body are connected, and then Janet bringing in her background in classical Chinese medicine. And really the other impetus was to extend the reach of the amazing Body Talk system. It's always stayed smaller than it should be for whatever reason, and we really want to get it out there to more people, really targeting healthcare practitioners, people that already have a practice that can just plug it in and use it the next day.
Yeah.
And so far, we've really been lucky because we've had medical doctors, nurses, naturopathic doctors, acupuncturists, physical therapists, a really good array of different kinds of medical professionals in our classes. And we have a lot of really cool techniques that they can use and integrate into their current practices, even without doing the full shebang. So.
That's great. So, but really the course will cover enough that anyone can go out and use it from day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I love it. So
yeah, it's a complete system. So it's a complete system in 3 days, which is a tall order. So we do give people some content as soon as you register and sign up and pay. You start to get some intro lectures. And then after the 3-day intensive, we also have a monthly online group that meets where we really dive deeper into the content and we support people to really use it in their practice.
Great. That's so important to help with that embedding process and get your questions answered.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. People have loved that group. They've said that it has just been such a great support system and review for the material. So we're very motivated to continue with that.
Yay, wonderful. So you're both teaching and it's over 3 days. So kind of, can you give us an overview of what you cover and how it kind of works through?
Yeah, I mean, everything that we teach, we're asking, are we looking at this from an Eastern perspective or from a Western perspective? So I think that that's really one of the things that makes the course very, very unique. There are a lot of great trainings out there, but really they're all coming from people's, particular backgrounds. And so we really believe in this model of co-teaching and really looking at things from two different perspectives. And I know, when we were putting the course together, and by the way, we have a manual that's almost 200 pages, so there's a lot. We've tried to make it interesting.
Bedtime reading.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, fascinating.
Yes.
Keep you awake.
Yeah, it's got lots of interesting snippets and studies and quotes and stuff like that. So we've tried to make it a fun manual. But with that, we've really tried to look at the latest research. And I know that, when Laura was putting the finishing touches on her part of the course, she was reading papers that had just been published a month ago. There really is the very latest science. And so everything that we're teaching is really backed up by, recent research, recent studies. And then, of course, from my perspective, I really wanted to bring in the wisdom of classical Chinese medicine. And because I believe that even worldwide, a lot of people have not been trained properly in Chinese medicine, even acupuncturists. And so we have to really go back to the classics and really look at some of the classical concepts and how can we introduce these in a way that's really usable, really user-friendly to the average person, and yet very profound.
So are you finding that some of your medical students, more than they do because you're in the latest research, Laura?
Oh, yeah. I mean, most certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we had, one of the doctors from Portugal who is the coordinator of our class, our upcoming class, and he's a medical doctor, and he came and took the training, and he said, this is the most fantastic training I've ever taken. This is amazing. And so he's been using it, and he loves it. So we know that we have something really great, very cutting edge, and that people are really able to use it and really do amazing things, even from day one.
Yeah, cool. It's exciting. So, Laura, you look like you're jumping to say something.
A little bit more about the structure of the class. So everyone will learn a set of what we call 7 reset techniques that reset the 3 main systems in the body, the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system. So there's an acupoint reset for each of those systems. So you're going to learn sets of acupuncture points really to calm stress and overwhelm and inflammation.
Yeah.
Kind of a predominant thing in our modern world. And then you learn the language and the map of the mind and body that we use. And we take you through the whole East-West body. So we do tag team lectures, East body, West body, and do a lot of demonstrations, and then people practice.
Oh, beautiful. So is it a mix of practical over the whole 3 days?
It is, yes.
Great.
And we really emphasize that when people walk out at the end of day 3, they feel ready to use it. They're not like, oh my God, how can I organize all this information? We've really, over the course of teaching in this year, we've really streamlined the way to give people what they need in the 3 days. Other aspects are in the manual or in this online support to take you a little further. But people are really, we've getting emails 2-3 days after the course of how people are using it and really making a difference.
Yeah, beautiful. So covering a lot of ground in 3 days, but in a way that seems quite applicable and simple.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And it was challenging to develop the class. Laura said we wanted to download our brains and our proficiency, these areas, but actually get it so that the average person could use it and get amazing results immediately. That was really the goal. And I think we've done it, because the feedback that we've been getting, people are just like, we can't believe this. This is just amazing, the things that are happening, and it's just changed our whole practice, our whole lives, so we think, okay, we did it. So it's great.
Cool. I'm excited.
The thing that I want to comment on there is that having worked in Janet's clinic for a while, watching Janet as well as other people who trained in Body Intuitive, I want to say that Body Intuitive has changed my practice, because it's given me the East body. And I've watched it change Janet's practice, because she's now doing exactly the types of priorities that I would do. She's down there in the microbiome and the neuroendocrine cells, really working with the West body. And then I can see other people that have been trained directly observing their work. They're really getting to the specificity and the precision that Janet and I work at. And it's basically the way we have distilled our knowledge and organized it on the fabulous chart pack that people get.
Wow. Well, I know having spent time with both of you, how much you've got going on in your brains. So the fact that people can be doing that after 3 days, it's incredible.
Well, one of the students said that one of the things she loved about the chart packs, which everybody gets, is that everything is right there. So you're open to exploring, the depth of the Eastern information as well as the Western information on the chart packs. It's right there. You don't have to hunt around for it. It's there, and so it's really, it's really coming up, and it really is very easy to work in this way.
So people can work with it from day one. They don't have to memorize it all.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No memorization required.
Although over time it might sneak in. Yeah.
It might. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. So really there aren't any prerequisites for this course. So if people don't know anatomy, they don't have any knowledge at all, they've never been a practitioner, they could still come.
That's correct. And we have had a number of people, even though it has been targeted to medical professionals and body talkers, we have had a number of people come in who have had no background. They've just kind of like stumbled in somehow, and like, there they are. We're like, okay. But they've actually done extremely well, and they've enjoyed it, and they've practiced throughout the 3 days, and they're able to use it. So yes, the course is open to anyone.
Cool. So anyone who doesn't know anything, feel free to join in.
Yeah, feel free. And I would say, Janet and I have each taught Body Talk fundamentals literally hundreds of times. And so in that process, Body Talk fundamentals is an amazing class, chock full of information. But we know what has been hard for people to pick up and what has been easy. So we really took all of our knowledge of teaching the Body Talk system and did a lot of reworking of some languaging so that people just pick it up faster.
Nice.
Because, yeah,
it can be quite overwhelming when you've got so much in a short space of time. But it sounds like you guys have distilled it in a beautiful, easy to absorb way.
Yeah, that's what we have. That was our intention. Yeah.
Great. So I'm guessing that we've got other modalities and boxes in the system, so that if you do know other things, you can plug it in.
That is correct. It's got the other modalities at the bottom of the mind-body map.
Great.
So you integrate in the Body Intuitive options with everything you know, whether that's Body Talk techniques and the Body Talk protocol chart, or chiropractic or acupuncture, or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody can use their current skill set, but with you as the basis, I guess, or guiding it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to permissions, which is still in there, and other modalities, there's basically 7 bubbles. So people are kind of going around, these 7 areas, And then a lot of body talkers are really drawing on their knowledge of body talk, and so it's coming in very easily and integrating in with the body intuitive. So it's really quite streamlined. And then, as Laura says, if anybody else with another medical profession proficiency wants to put their stuff in there, it's very easy for it to come up within that context.
Great. Yay. So anyone can attend, which is amazing. I love it. But is there any reasons why people might want to come?
I mean, I think that people are looking for really effective whole healthcare systems. So I think that, we know that, the Western medical system, as great as it is, particularly for trauma and for critical care, can't really deal very well with a lot of long-term chronic issues or with a lot of mental emotional issues. And so we also know that there are a lot of alternatives out there, alternative medicine, but a lot of them are techniques. So they're kind of hit or miss. Like, well, maybe sometimes they work, but here's this technique that can be applied. But I would say that Body Intuitive is a whole medical system in the sense that we're able to address everything from the top to the bottom. And of course, we do it in an intuitive way. So we're really, intuiting from the client's body what's going on in there. But it's a very effective way that's really able to cut across the whole mind-body relationship, really focus on the relevant issues, and really facilitate change.
Beautiful.
So if I were to give you a few bullet points around, I would say, basically, why do you want to come? Because you want your patients to heal faster.
Yeah.
Okay? It is a very efficient system. It's very quick and straightforward. And doing a treatment, it just has a really easy flow to it. So if you come from a background in body talk, practitioners have noticed sessions are shorter. They seem, very packed with a lot of, people have said that it's kind of like a super powered session that
feels I
feels
like this. Yeah.
and easy. And that's what I've noticed. My sessions are shorter, but more potent. Yeah. And clients notice the difference too. And just to highlight, I think there's one of the differences that's worth calling out is the technique that we use to basically find trauma or emotional past history locked in the body and release it. It comes from a shamanic system that I've been trained in. So it has ancient roots, just like the classical Chinese medicine. And that is an amazing, very easy technique that clients can take and do themselves. And people are having profound results integrating it with the East-West body.
Ooh. So drawing on lots and lots of different ancient wisdom here. Yeah.
And the emotional technique is even something that can be used on a daily basis. So, we all know that on a daily basis, there's just, so much that comes up for us. And, it can really be done daily. And when people are, using it as that kind of take-home exercise, they're really experiencing profound shifts over a few weeks. So we're really, really happy with that.
Yeah. Yay. So when they come back for another session, if they need it, because you have so many superpowers, you can go even deeper. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
That's cool. So have you got any case studies and things that you can share with us?
We have a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you've taught, 9 classes now, you said? So.
Yeah. We were talking about one of them, it was really lucky because Laura and I were able to work together for a couple of months over the winter in the early teaching of a class, which was great. She was able to work in my clinic with me, and, we saw a number of clients there. And one client was, he's still alive, thank goodness. I should say he is.
That's good. Yeah.
This man in his late 30s who was diagnosed with neuroendocrine cancer. And so they gave him basically about a year to live. And so he kind of stumbled into our clinic like in a state of shock. He'd gotten this diagnosis, and they told him that they were going to, recommend an experimental form of chemotherapy for him, but they didn't hold out much hope. And and he was just, miserable. He was weak. He was exhausted. He was in pain. He felt very uncomfortable in his body, and he just happened to live in the neighborhood. So he definitely picked the right clinic, and
you sucked him in. Yeah.
And then, and he was slowly improving. And then during one of our study groups, he was actually selected to be, to be treated in front of our online study group. And we gave him a session, and Laura addressed something with the emotional resolution technique from his childhood. It was something very profound, and he really broke down, and and after that, we just saw an incredible shift in him. Like it was unbelievable. And he came for his follow-up sessions, and he was in yesterday. He was in the clinic.
Yeah.
I had him for a little while, and I said, "How are you?" And he said, "So good." Mm-hmm. And the doctors can't believe it. Everything is status quo, and I feel fantastic. I have no pain in my body. I have great energy. I'm high because I'm running 4 miles a day. I'm like, what? This guy. And we know that it's not chemotherapy that's doing this, right? So, so he's just doing really, really well. And he said yesterday, "I'm so grateful." He said, because, I had no idea. And he said, "I just happened to come in here. It was the beginning of a journey. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know anything about this intuitive system that you practice, this body intuitive. And it saved my life. And I'm so very grateful." So, and we have a bunch of stories like that. I like to talk about him because he's just been such an inspirational patient client. So
and it's unfortunate when people get in that circumstances, but it's often the biggest feedback for us as therapists to see transformations like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, have you had many transformations in the class?
I think so.
Yeah, people get, the depth of the work that you get just doing all the trades in the class, very profound. I would say where that was most noticeable was at the last class that we taught in Santa Cruz, before the Chapel Hill one. By day 3, people had, they're getting 3 treatments a day from each other, and then many of them getting a demo session from Janet or I. They were giddy. Everyone was on, and such an emotional high. The profoundness of the changes. People just their jaws were dropping. They were wow. So that was really wonderful to see.
Yeah, we're even surprised by the results.
yes, we were wow.
These we're hearing these stories, and we're seeing these things, and we're saying, "This is amazing." So,
I did one of these resets that take a minute, and all of a sudden, all my pain was gone. So we're like, "Wow,
it's working."
That's amazing, though.
So we're excited.
Yeah, it's such a gift that you two have got together to do this work.
Yes. Well, we've been very happy working together. It's been a great experience, and we'd like to think that we're offering something really profound and really life-changing.
Yeah,
and accessible. Not many. 3 days for a whirlwind life changer. That's
nice. And because you've got the science side of it as well, people aren't going to poo-poo it as much.
Exactly.
That's my goal as a scientist.
Not the woo-woo. Yeah.
Reach scientifically minded people and really open the doors to this understanding of healing, which is science-based.
Yeah.
Really understand how the mind impacts the body, and how you can bring that knowledge in and use it in your practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
and so important for today because it's badly needed. There are just huge gaps in our healthcare system, and so this is most needed.
So we're talking a lot about stress in life, and lots of people with anxiety and stuff that seems to be becoming more and more common. Mm-hmm. I guess this is going to make a big difference for people.
This, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Laura has written an amazing section focusing on stress and actually the 3 kinds of stress in the body. Very, very fascinating. And this is, again, cutting edge, scientific research and so interesting to understand, the differences between these 3 types of stress and how we can address them.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. So, have you got other classes before you come to? I say come to me, but we're all going to Portugal. So
we are. Yes, we are. We have 2 more classes this year. So this is Miami is number 9, and then we'll be in Santa Cruz in December for number 10. And so that will have been 10 classes for 2019. So we've had a busy year, and we're just putting together our schedule now for 2020. But we knew that we really wanted to teach in Europe early in 2020. So we're very excited to be coming to Portugal. And there are a number of people coming over from the U.S. who are excited to join us for class there. Some monitors, which is great. So they'll be able to help, also with the newer students.
Great.
And then we're looking forward to introducing this to our European students.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to seeing you and hopefully maybe getting some winter sun in the mix as well. So I will have all the dates and all the details alongside this video. So if you do want to come and join us in Portugal, which will be class number 11.
Class number 11.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, then please do come and join us. And we have an early bird for the 15th of October. So sign up before then. There'll be a code here for that as well to get that discount. And come and join us and be in with the in crowd. Anything you two want to add before we close?
Oh, thank you so much, Eloise, for the opportunity to talk a little bit about our course and our upcoming teaching there. We appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you two spending some time with me.
Yeah, we're very excited to come to Europe, and we hope to see many of the European healthcare practitioners in the class.
Yeah. Now, can we end on why we're in Portugal? Are we allowed to tell everyone? Because everyone keeps asking.
Why are we in Portugal?
Well, none of us are at this moment. Let's be clear.
Why are we going to Portugal?
As opposed to other venues.
Yes.
I think there are a lot of different reasons. One is that we wanted to go to, since we knew that we were coming in the winter to teach in Europe, we had already decided that we didn't want to go to a place that was too cold or too prohibitive weather-wise.
Yeah,
so that's
perfect.
one reason. Yeah, and so we were looking at the possibilities of Spain or Portugal. And then, of course, we did have the opportunity to meet our student, Dr. Robert, who lived in Portugal and was very, very excited to host us there. We felt that Portugal was accessible to many areas in Europe and that it was reasonable. It wasn't like a super pricey destination. And so we just sort of put all of these things together. And plus, Laura and I have always wanted to go there.
Yeah, I've never been either, so I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's going to be great.
Perfect. There you are. No weird reasons. Huh?
The thing about Portugal and everything else Body Intuitive is everything is done on a priority basis.
Perfect.
So we actually do Body Intuitive sessions to determine what we're going to teach, how we're going to teach, where we're going to teach, when we're going to teach. And all the stars aligned, and Portugal was the priority.
Yes, that's right.
So,
Perfect.
even though none of us have ever been there, here we come.
Yeah, so cool. So we're going to be there the 24th to the 26th of January 2020. 2020, wow. And we look forward to as many of you joining us as possible. And if you've got any questions, drop me an email. And if I can't answer it, I will pass it on to someone that can. Oh. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, Louise.
Yay.